A woman is found badly injured inside the house. She's taken to hospital. Days later, she dies. Police move fast. A man is charged. So this should be simple, right? But when you look closer, something about this case doesn't fully make sense. And the more you think about it, the more questions start to appear. This is the case of Amy Doherty, 28 years old, a young mother. On March 21st, she was found seriously injured inside a property in Derry, Northern Ireland. Emergency services responded. She was taken to hospital, but she didn't survive. A few days later, she died from her injuries. Then very quickly, police charged a 30-year-old man with her murder. He was also charged with possession of a knife and possession of cocaine. That's what we know. Those are the confirmed facts. But now, let's slow this down and look at what doesn't make sense. Start with the location. Amy was not found outside. She was not missing. She was not discovered later somewhere remote. She was found inside the property. That changes everything because this was not random. This was not someone walking down the street. This happened in a place with walls, doors, and limited access. So the first question is simple. How did she end up there? Was she already there? Did she go there willingly? Or did something happen that brought her inside? Because that one detail tells you this case is not as straightforward as it looks like. Now, think about the timeline. We know the date she was found. We know she later died. But we do not have a clear, detailed breakdown of her final hours. No full timeline has been publicly explained. We don't know where she was before, who she was with, what led to that moment inside the property. And that is unusual because in many cases, those details come out early. But here, there is a gap. And when there is a gap, that's where the mystery lives. Now, look at how fast everything moved. Police identified the suspects quickly. Charges were brought within days. That's unusual. That usually means one of two things. Either there is a strong, clear evidence, or investigators focus very early on one direction. But here is the problem. We don't know what that evidence is. There has been no clear public explanation of CCTV footage, witnesses' timeline, movement tracking, or a step-by-step reconstruction of what happened. So now the question becomes, what made them so certain so quickly? Because from the outside, we don't see that full picture yet. Now look at the extra charges. The man is also charged with having a knife and cocaine. That sounds important, but think carefully. Was the knife directly linked to what happened, or was it simply found during the arrest? Those are two completely different situations. One connects directly to the case, the other does not. And right now, that connection is not clearly explained. So again, we're left asking, what exactly ties everything together? Now step back. Look at the reaction. Thousands of people gathered for a vigil. Not just to mourn, but to demand justice. That kind of reaction doesn't come from just sadness. It comes from something deeper, fear, anger, a sense that something is not right. So you have to ask, what are people feeling that we are not fully seeing in the reports? Because sometimes the public reaction tells you there is more under the surface. Now let's focus on what is missing, because this is where things get interesting. Right now, we do not have a clear public answer to these questions. What was Amy doing before she was found? What led to her being inside that property? What exactly happened in those final moments? Was anyone else there? What triggered the situation? And the most importantly, what is the full sequence of events? Because without that sequence, you don't have a complete story. You only have pieces. So now let's think like detectives. Not guessing, not making things up, just asking the right questions. Why was she there? What happened just before everything went wrong? Why hasn't the timeline been fully explained yet? What evidence led to such a fast charge? And the biggest one, are we seeing the full picture or just part of it? Now let's look at a possible explanation. First, the official direction. This could be a straightforward case. An incident happened inside the property, police identified the person responsible and acted quickly. That fits the charge. That fits the timeline of the arrest, but it doesn't explain everything because we still don't know the full sequence. Second possibility. This was something that escalated, a situation behind closed door, something that started small and became something much worse. That would explain why it happened inside and why there is no random element. But again, we don't know what triggered it, and that missing piece matter. Third possibility. There are important details not yet public. Things that will only come out later. Relationships, conversations, events before that day, because sometimes what really explains a case is the part we haven't heard yet. So, where does that leaves us? Right now, a man has been charged. The legal process is moving forward. That is a fact. But from an investigative point of view, this is not a fully understood story yet, because the most important part is still unclear. What actually happened inside that property, until that is fully explained, there will always be questions. So now I want to ask you, if you were looking at this case, what would you focus on? The location, the missing timeline, the speed of the charge, or the details we still don't have? What do you think happened in those final moments? Did investigators already figure it out, or there is something we're still missing? Because sometimes the truth is not hidden, it's just incomplete, and the real story is still waiting to be fully told. Thank you.